is Ruel's Running Podcast, a podcast about running, health, family, play, and an NSNG lifestyle. And now, here's your host, Ruel.
Excuse me as I rock on. That's Went Away by Dorothy Lane. Dorothy Lane out of Martinez, California. That's out of the Cut and Dry album. Check them out at dorothylanemusic.com. Yeah.
Hey everybody, it's Ruel Abadam. Just an update, and just to get out of the way, I have not done any running lately. So for a running podcast, or a podcast that has running in its title, not a whole lot of running in this segment, but depending on how I've compiled the audio, maybe you would have heard it earlier, or not. But I just wanted to sort of capture this bit of chat. A lot's gone on. Work is work. Work was pretty busy for a while. With what I do, I'm a software test. I'm just straight out, I'm a software tester. Some will say I'm a software test engineer. Some would say, or early on, it was described as quality assurance or QA or QA engineer. But you know what? I'm all about the test. It's a test, right? Doesn't matter if it's an Android device or an iOS device, like on your iPhone or your iPad, whether it's a PC or whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even have to be tech. It's just my thing, and I sort of started saying it around out and about, in life, and I haven't said it in this podcast whatsoever, so this may be the first time that life is just a test. It's all about the test. All of the experiences, and then when you go out and about and you try something new, it's all a test. When you go out on a run, we'll circle back to a little bit about running, it's all a test. Whether it's the same course or it's a different course, whether it's the same distance or a different distance, it's all a test, because it never really is the same. You may, even if you hit the track at the same time of the day, you could be different. The variable could just be you. Maybe you ate a little too many beans, the night before, versus the other time you ate a bunch of hot salsa, right? You just never know. Maybe you didn't have your electrolytes. It's all a test, Can you do something? If not, you find out. Can you do something better? Maybe you can. Maybe you can't. Life's all about a test. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, yeah, work's been busy. And what I do is I test stuff. And it's been busy because, the software goes through many, many revisions and improvements and changes. If it's not to do maintenance because something that had been developed before no longer works, or just didn't work because it wasn't caught, other known as a bug, then you fix it. Then you got to retest and make sure that things continue to work as you expect, plus the fixes are in place, right? Plus, if it isn't your stuff, it's the stuff that your stuff sits on top of. For example, if we want to use that Android app as an example, right? You can build an app a certain way at a given moment in time. But should Google change the Android version to something else, right? You got to make sure that your stuff continues to work on the new stuff and continues to work on the old stuff. So, and if it doesn't, then you've got to make sure that the app changes is updated in such a way that it supports the new platform, the new version of the platform. So, anyways, a whole lot of that had been going on in the office. It was really busy for a while. I go past a moment, and then I kind of let it go. I don't kind of hang on to how busy things can get, and then I dwell on it because there's no point. I just kind of move on, and that's sort of been my career for a long time. Things are like a if you ever look at a course elevation chart, there's a whole bunch of peaks and valleys, and some are shorter, some are just really lengthy, and that's the cycle of software, man. There's a lot of peaks and valleys. When it's peaking, that means stuff is being developed and tested and retested and fixed and retested. And then when things release, there's just sort of like a monitor and make sure things are stable. And then you sort of come down this valley where, okay, now I'm not ramped up to do something new, but I got to continue to support all of the infrastructure that I need to so that I can continue to do my job. And that's things like building and maintaining tests, and building the systems around automated tests, and looking at the bucket of outstanding things that we want to get done and see if we can add them to the plate to get done. It's a whole lot of that stuff. But anyways, what was the whole point of what was I talking about? Yeah, life's been busy, and there hasn't been a whole lot of running, primarily because I had 2 birthday parties go on back-to-back weekends, and in between, been doing a lot of work at home, helping support my wife and her business. So it's just been crazy. It's been hectic, and I just, and there's been appointments. Like the other day, I took 3 kids to a dentist appointment, and so that takes a lot of logistics and plant time away from other things, and you just kind of roll with the punches. And yeah, it's just been hectic. I haven't had the time to actually go run. I actually missed the opportunity to meet up a friend who lives in Spain, who came to visit, not me, but he came to visit to attend a conference. And he was basically shacking it up in San Francisco, just a few blocks away from where the office was. But there was just so much work and stuff that when I thought that I'd be able to hook up with him, we couldn't. And then when I tried to find alternate plans, he had plans to visit a bunch of the other old colleagues. He's a former colleague from the old place that I used to work at. He's a developer. When we worked together, he developed the iOS app for the company that I worked with. And so it would have been cool catching up with him. We follow each other on social. He runs, I run. He runs over in Spain, I run over here in San Francisco. And it would have been nice to catch up, and just see how things are. But yeah, not a whole lot of running because of all of these other activities. But anyways, we had these parties, and I just wanted to tell a quick story before I get out of here. Quick story was, the last party we did this past weekend was for my son, who's turned 8. And he has a bunch of his friends from school who are generally around the same age. And they're all characters. It's crazy. But there's one kid in particular, just really, really, he's like, I'm really strong, and then I'm really fast, and I'm the smartest kid. He's just really vocal and really, really kind of, he'd make a perfect podcaster, I tell you. But he would like grab my arm. Let me see your arm, because you want to arm wrestle me? and just kept on and on. And I'm like, you know what? I can keep up with this kid. I just realized he is a smart kid, and if I just sort of engaged with him and not sort of figured he was just a kid who was just here at the party, but I engaged with him, we can have some fun. And this is what I did. I asked him, what's your favorite color? He gave me an answer. What's your favorite shape? He gave me an answer. What's your favorite constellation? He gave me an answer. What's your favorite planet? He gave me an answer. If you could either be a squid or an octopus, what would you be? Give me an answer. Where would you live? Which sea would you want to live in? Give me an answer. He said something like Shark Sea or something. Like, okay, what's your favorite shark? He gave me an answer. And I said, okay, if this is what I was all leading up to. He's probably 8 years old, right? That's what I was leading up to. If you were given the choice of eating one of 2 things, and you only had to choose one, what would you eat? Would you eat a dog or a cat? And he said, a cat. Okay. Then he thought about it. I said, are you sure? And he thought about it. No. And he said, Cats have whiskers. I'm allergic to cat hair. But dingoes don't have that problem. Dog. He said he would eat a dog. I'm like, great. Back of my head is already cracking up. He's going, dog. You would eat a dog. But I have another question. Would you eat it fried or grilled or baked? You know, like fried chicken? He says, fried. Great. You would eat fried dog. Right? My head is exploding from the inside. Okay, but what would you have as a side? Would you eat French fries or mashed potatoes? He said, mashed potatoes. And I'm like, great. Fried dog with mashed potatoes. And I was trying to get to the point where, did you want like a dip on the side, like a barbecue sauce or something? But then by that time, the kid who had just been on me, and I felt like he was kind of like I couldn't keep up with, I got to a point where he just couldn't keep up with me, and he walked away, and it was great. And that's, folks, if you were ever around kids, try that technique, stretch their mind. And guess what? I met up with his mom later in the party, and I told her, your son is wonderful. He's very engaging, very articulate, and I can see where other kids can't keep up with him, and that can be a problem. But you know what? It'll all catch up at some point, and it'll all work out. You know, and I told her about the conversation I had, how his son would choose to eat fried dog with a side of mashed potatoes. And then she was like, oh my God. She's like, thank God, thank goodness, or like, I can't believe it. And we do have a dog, so she has to kind of look after that dog. Yeah, it was a fun time. The party overall was great, and it went really well. It's just leading up to it, you know, it's just a lot of work, you know, and that's after having done one the weekend before. And that's what's running. I'm not gonna tell you, I'll tell you later what I cooked. I cooked a bunch of stuff, and I just don't have the energy right now. I'm gonna go fry me up some dog. All right? Eat something delicious. Not dog, I'm just kidding. Hug your friends, hug your family. Go run something. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Ruel's Running Podcast with Ruel. If you like what you just heard, share it with your friends and your enemies. Also, be sure to check out the site over at ruelsrunning.com. This has been another Coffee with Heavy Cream production. Join us next time for another silly show of Ruel's Running Podcast.